Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shelly Speaks Truth right here on 2rawfortv.tv. If you are here for the first time, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I am your host, Shelly Speaks, here along with my co-host / producer, Dre. Now, what we do around here is we usually stream from a few other platforms, which is usually Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the usuals, but that is not for the entire show. If you would like to see the entire show, you will have to come on over to 2rawfortv.tv, and that is where you will see the entire show. And that is the number 2, Raw, the number 4, TV.tv. I'm going to say it one more time. That is the number 2, Raw, the number 4, TV.tv.
Right, and the link is right in the description. You know, wherever you're watching this, the link is right in the description. So just touch the link, come on over. It's not we made it easy for you guys. So
just that simple. Click the link and come on over. And with that being said, once again, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. And before I jump into tonight's topic, I do want to remind everyone that if you are really feeling it, you like the program, you like the content, you appreciate what we're doing here, there is an option for you to get a paid membership. Very affordable monthly paid membership. All you have to do is click, click the man up right there.
Above, right above. When you go right up and above where you go to like edit your account and upload your stuff and all
right. And you should definitely, go ahead and check that out on 2rawfortv.tv. That is where you can look into the paid memberships. Your support is greatly appreciated. Helps keep me on the air. Helps to keep the network going. And, your generous contribution to the network, may it be blessed tenfold. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. So by now, many of us have already become privy to the fact that SNAP benefits and things like that are on the chopping block. They say that by November 1st, there is a possibility that people who are recipients of the SNAP EBT program may not be getting benefits starting in November. And that has caused a lot of people to be sad, frustrated, angry, all of the above. The one thing about SNAP that, because people are talking about the food stamp element of it, but I'm wondering if that also, I would think that it also, because SNAP is not just the food stamps. SNAP is also where people get actual money, like they get checks too.
Yeah.
So, I didn't think about that until earlier today. I'm like, yes, SNAP, you do get food stamps, but there's people who also, they get actual money as well with the SNAP program. So, people may be using that money to pay a light bill. They may be using that money to pay their rent. It's very, it's going to get extremely interesting, for lack of a better term, when those SNAP benefits may not be showing up for November. And that has been all the rage. It's been talked about on every platform you can think of, that, people may not be getting those benefits. And, the Trump camp, because, a lot of people did vote for Trump, and that's fine if you chose to vote for Trump. But a lot of people are getting angry with the Trump administration, although I will say, in the Trump administration's defense, they don't really have any control over reopening the government, because that's a different branch. Congress can reopen the government. they should reopen the government, because outside of the SNAP program, there's a lot of people who work federal jobs that are not getting paid right now. I was watching something earlier and they were talking about the amount of people who are just not going to work because they're out there trying to figure out other ways to make money. And I mean, can they really expect people to show up to work if they're not getting paid? People have to figure out a way to pay their bills and feed their families. And I just think it's been this is the 26th day that it's been shut down. So it's been almost a month that it's been shut down. And people are not getting their paychecks. And, I seen a headline earlier where a TSA worker was saying that she is about to be facing eviction because she's not getting a paycheck. She can't pay her rent. So these are all the things that are happening to people. And it's kind of like, Congress is just sitting on their hands, if you ask me. And the problem with the situation is that our government has been bought off by the oligarchs. They've been bought off by private interests. So they're not really serving the people. They're serving these private interests, billionaires and corporations and whatnot. And, at this moment, the American people are really feeling the brunt of the government being shut down. Again, people's benefits being at risk and things like that. So it's just a lot of chaos happening right now. And the American people are growing frustrated, and rightfully so, which is basically what we're going to be discussing tonight. Because what some people are saying is that these corporations who pretty much control the government, they get what they want. It's time for us to withdraw our support from these corporations. And the reality of the matter is, when you really think about it, that's really our main source of power in these types of situations, to hit these companies in the pockets, and these people that's like I said, these oligarchs that are profiting from these corporations. That is really the power that we hold as the American people. We can withdraw our monetary support from these companies. That's something that we can do. And yes, it will take some altering of our lifestyles, because in many ways, we have become very complacent with having lots of convenience. And that's one of our downfalls, unfortunately. But it's just the reality of the reality that we live in, especially here in America. We do have the advantage of convenience. And, once people kind of get entrenched in that convenience, it is something that is kind of, difficult to shake, but it's not impossible. And I, for one, am really happy to see a lot of people kind of waking up and saying, wait a minute, we don't have to support these major corporations. We can withdraw our support as a show that we do not appreciate what is happening to us. Because obviously the government is not standing up for the people. They're not backing the people. They're not coming up with any types of policies that's going to combat what's happening. So we do have to take matters into our own hands in this situation. And one of the things that, people have come together, and the general consensus at the moment is basically the holiday season is coming up, and a lot of money is spent during the holiday season. We have two of the biggest holidays in America that are coming up, which is Thanksgiving and Christmas. And, now people are saying we got to kind of strategize on how we're going to do holidays this year. I feel like it should be every year, to be honest. I'm the type of person where this is not going to be a much of a difficult transition for me, because I'm already the type of person where I usually don't buy anything that I don't need. So it ain't really going to be that hard for me to not give my money to these major corporations. I have no problem with looking for alternatives and things like that. But where it does get tricky, because although I don't spend a lot of money on myself, when it comes to these babies, I crack the wallet. But again, it's all about sacrifice and what are we willing to do in order to stand up for ourselves. Because if we're going to be honest, we're getting our asses handed to us right now. Everything is sky high. I talk about this all the time in conversation about because I do a lot of shopping with Walmart, and with Walmart I have the Walmart membership. So if I'm ordering grocery online and things like that, I notice that if I go back and I look at my shopping cart from like 2-3 years ago, there's going to be a drastic difference in what I'm paying today for the same items. I'm not getting more. Same items, same quantity, all of that. And it's like 2, 3, 4 times the price. So again, we really are getting taken advantage of, and we're going to have to do something to stand against it. So I do have a clip that I want to get into here in a moment to kind of give an idea of what is being, people are calling on the public to do as a way to, like I said, to combat these corporations. Because again, the corporations really do have these politicians in their back pocket. And at this point, it's evident with this government shutdown. I feel like that really revealed how much these politicians don't give a damn about the public, don't give a damn about the American people. And they're going to do what it is that their lobbyists are telling them to do. So again, like I said, the only power that we have in this situation is to decide to withdraw our monetary support from these corporations. And if we have the clip ready, I want to go ahead and roll that. Now, it is kind of long, but, go ahead and let's just watch the whole thing together, because there's some really, good suggestions and information in this clip that I feel like people do need to hear.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Make sure her audio is on.
I'm going to speak on it. The mass blackout, which is happening from November 25th to December 2nd, I'm all in. I'm engaging. I'm participating. I'll be advocating for this with the Big Beautiful Boycott. We'll be pushing that information in our Discord as well as on our website once it's up and running. The People's Sick Day, who I have also advocated for that movement and their leadership, they've picked these dates as well. All of us, we're all coming together because we have to be one unified front. I'm going to go through the list of asks. You guys are going to flip out. That's fine, but I'm asking you to stay with me because I have a plan for you on the other end of this. First and foremost, if you want to take your country back, all you got to do is hit the pockets of the millionaires, billionaires, and the regime at the helm right now. They speak 2 languages, money and power. They hold hands. If you take away money, they don't have power. So the asks are this: no work. We'll talk about it. Don't flip out. No spending. No restaurants twice, by the way. Super important. We don't need to go out to a restaurant to eat. We don't need DoorDash, and we don't need Uber Eats. I lived in the 90s. I know there wasn't that. No projects, no events. Let's talk about what all of this means and how to prepare for it. I've put together a checklist. All you have to do is follow the checklist and we'll be good to go. I'm also going to put this picture of this checklist in the comments, so make sure you boost that so it stays at the top, and also make sure you save a copy for yourself. Number 1, essentials and groceries. People got to eat during this time, right? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stock up on food, household items, and medications prior to November 25th. Now, we don't want there to be a surge in spending prior to the blackout. So what we're asking is that you buy from local or community-owned stores whenever possible, and you only buy exactly what you need to get through that brief period of time. Number 2, your finances. Make sure you pay your bills and complete essential purchases before the blackout period. We're not going above and beyond. We don't need to spend more than we usually do. Just make sure everything that is going to be due during that time is taken care of. We are going to avoid large corporate spending during November 25th to December 2nd. If you must spend, you need to do it within a local business, a small business, something like that. We are not going to engage with major corporations. Now, work is where people get a little bit hesitant. So we're just going to ask that you do what you can. If you have PTO that you can use, that you can take some days off, do it. If you can't, well, then you're still showing up, but you're doing only the essential work. You're not going above and beyond. You're not going in early. You're not staying late. You are taking that full hour lunch break. Whatever your setup is, you are doing the bare minimum, because by doing the bare minimum, you are actually taking longer for money to move through the process. You know what I'm saying? We are also going to pause anything that's optional, whether it is deliveries or a project or something that can be put on the back burner, it gets put on the back burner. The other thing too is if you can't miss work, I get it. You need to make sure you're engaging in the economic blackout part of this, that you're not spending. Now, let's go to number 4, which is communication and awareness. So we are going to inform our friends, our family, anyone that we interact with on a daily basis of our plans for spending or work, because it is going to fall. Yes, it's going to fall over Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of those important things. You need to let people know why you are not spending, and maybe encourage them to join you, okay? You need to share this information responsibly, focusing on the peaceful, legal parts of it. Go ahead and share this video, repost this video, make your own video. I don't care how the information gets out. If you feel like you can't do any of the, asks, at least push this information out for others. And then last but not least, after the blackout, we are going to resume spending with independent and local businesses. We are getting away from the corporate overlords, if you will. And after this blackout is a really good time to return to the Big Beautiful Boycott page, which will be up by then, and make sure you are following along with the companies that we are officially boycotting and have officially vetted for their participation in supporting this regime. So I hope all of that makes sense. If you have questions, put them in the comments and I'll try to do a video.
Yeah, don't try to put them in the comments when the mic is on.
All right, guys. So if you are watching from any of the other social media platforms, we're about to go ahead and end the stream there. You have the link. Go ahead and click it and bring your butt on over here to 2rawfortv.tv, and that is where you will see the entire show. With that being said, I played that whole video, although it was, a little bit long, but that's fine. I played the whole thing because I feel like it was some very good information in that video. And like she said, I mean, even if you're not able to do every one of the acts, some people are like, well, I can't miss work. Okay, that's understandable. Go to work, do the bare minimum.
But hold on now, like suppose you're like a subcontract type of thing, to where the harder you work or the better you work is the more you get paid. So
adjust for your situation. Obviously, if you have to build a damn house, don't cut corners on building the house. Use your discretion and common sense.
I'm not sure if she told people that.
Now, if they don't have the common sense to know that